here are 10 different exercise variations that you can use in order to make yourself a better and more agile athlete. The first one we're starting off with is just some side-to-side hops over a box. So we're just really focusing on quick ground contact times. This is going to be the easiest one out of all of the training exercises. Next, we're going to take this one step further, and now we're going to move into a unilateral type movement. This is really good because you're getting a lot of force that you're having to decelerate and stop in that lateral plane, which is really going to emphasize what you do on the field when you are making a cut. Now, the next few plyometrics, we're going to move into a transition type of plyometric. So we're going to move from one plane of movement into another. So you're going to see some lateral plyometrics, so some skater jumps into a box jumps. So with this, I definitely recommend starting out a little bit shorter with the lateral jump until you are able to handle fuller or farther and farther type of jumps. You also might feel a lot more springy coming off of the ground when you're doing this, and that's because of the kinetic potential that you're creating from the initial jump. So you're essentially getting a lot more return out of your tendons. So it's a skater jump, plant both feet and try to have a quick transition up. And when you're redirecting that force, you are trying to not make yourself move laterally anymore. Now, we're just taking this into the next version of this, which is going to be an inline skater to box jump. So you're getting more of that hip rotation and transition with these. Okay, again, I'd recommend spacing it out, trying it out for yourself. You are going to have to start that initial jump a little bit sooner than you think with these, but these are really great for any rotational athlete, any field athlete where the environment gets chaotic and at a moment's notice you need to jump and or produce a lot of power. These are probably one of my favorite ones that I did throughout this series for these plyometrics. Now we're just trying to build a little bit of strength and a little bit of power, okay? So these are some crossover sled pushes. Now you can go a little bit lighter with the weight, which you see here, and focus on more of that quick pace and getting on and off the ground really quickly first. You can see you might need a little bit of a higher sled with these, and I'm driving my shoulder and using my opposite arm to provide a little bit of stability with this. Now, you can also take this a little bit further if you want to focus more on that strength portion and load it up. These are definitely going to work your glute meds a lot, and your glute meds are responsible for a lot of your knee stability as well, and these are really going to help that with your sled pushes, okay, the crossover sled pushes. Now, these are absolutely brutal. These are some straight arm lateral shuffles. These are going to work your core really, really, really hard, okay? These are great for my offense, defensive linemen, anyone who has to seal a gap, resist any sort of motion, okay? So you can load up pretty heavy with these. You just really got to make sure that you have the shoulder strength and leg strength as you're trying to push off as hard as you can without collapsing the torso. Really awesome for my in the trenches type of athletes. Now, we're going to move into more of an explosive and dynamic version of this, okay? So instead of the heavy strength, now we're focusing on being quick. Okay, so these are banded lateral explosive shuffles, and you can see I'm trying to slow and decelerate myself on this first set, okay? Now, you'll see I start to move into another variation of this where you get a fast coming back, which is going to give you that overspeed type of effect, and then you're having to redirect quickly. So at that moment of transition, you're getting a lot of force that you have to overcome, which is going to help translate it nicely. And then if I had an exercise video that didn't have the actual lateral speed component to it, I would call myself a bluff, okay? So really, this is where a lot of that transitional type of gym training is going to carry over for you, and that's actually getting out in the field and doing some sprints. Now, I love isometrics. They are great for joint specific strength and an overcoming effect to prime the central nervous system. So you can see I'm doing a bent knee, bent hip variation where I'm just driving my shoulder into the wall, pressing off the outside hip. And then I'm doing more of a straight leg variation to really hit on that glute med to provide that structure that I'm looking for when I make those type of cuts. Okay, so anywhere from 3-4 sets tops, 10-15 seconds for these. Okay, and then the last thing, you just got to get some general strength training. Okay, with, well, not general, but lateral plane strength training. Okay, so these are just some lateral lunges. I love these. You can absolutely go heavy as shit on these, and I definitely recommend that you do. And these are one of my favorites. These are a split lunge variation on the landmine, where I'm leaning into the landmine and I'm getting a little bit of that lateral force production. These are really awesome. Okay, and what I'm doing here is called a cat rep, so I'm just trying to move as fast as I can up and in and out. If you like this video, like and follow for more.